Hey guys, it's Tombox. Welcome back to another installment of Storytime. This time we're stepping into something a bit different. We're gonna look at some really bad misplays. The kind of misplays that your friends would go on Facebook just to unfriend you. Now some of these stories are my most deep and buried misplays, so you guys are hearing it first here. And everyone brain farts every now and then, but it always seems to happen to people on camera. So hope you like these. If you like these stories, throw me a bone by clicking the like. I'm just a little YouTuber just trying to bring a smile to the first day of your week. Tom's Abysmal Megalo. This story takes place back in the mermail format at the release of Abyss Rising, a really old set. Now, this is probably the most embarrassing play I made playing this game. I wasn't a Yu-Gi tuber at the time, so thank God that wasn't a thing, and I was just another player. Now, Mermail was the latest top tier deck, and I managed to get my hands on it pretty early. Now, this was back in the day when Oscar was still around. If you guys know him, he's one of the OG MST.TV guys that started the channel with me. So, old time rules. And this was game 3. Oscar, if you guys don't know, he was probably the strongest player at my locals, and I was playing against my buddy Oscar. He was playing Evil Swarm at the time, and he dealt some damage to me, around 2,000 or so. But I managed to trade a few cards and get rid of his Evil Swarm Ophion and the Abyss Dweller, leaving him with an Evil Swarm Thanatos. So Ophion and the Dweller were probably the two biggest problems I had to deal with. So we were the last two to finish the round, and as you all know, people always gather around the last match, especially with Oscar playing. Now, I personally hate hearing the chatter around and people discussing my plays. Oh, like, whoa, what a misplay. Oh, how did he end up with a board like that? Like, it's hella distracting. So, time was called, and in my hand, I have a Megalo and 2 cards. Oscar's board was just a 2350 attack Thanatos, no back row after taking care of the Ophion. I call him Ophion. It was my turn, and everyone was just making comments. I was hearing like whispers, like, oh my god, he's got it. Oh, it's so obvious. And I'm looking at my hand. I have Megalo, Atlantean Dragoons, and Aqua Spirit. Now bear in mind this is before the Neptibus days, and I just said, I don't see it. The crowd goes nuts, like, oh my god, are you serious? Like, a part of the crowd just yells out, and then Oscar interrupts, hey, don't coach him, man, this is tourney. And the crowd settles down a little, but they're probably super annoyed, like that feeling when you have an itch and you just can't scratch it. Hurry up, man, said Oscar as he's trying to rush me. I was like, hold on, man, there's a play somewhere here. A 2350 attack, I can't summon Megalo. What's going on? My 2 monster, I can make a 101, and that's all I can really do. And Thanatos can just basically negate it and not be affected by any monster effect. So I go ahead and summon out the Dragoons and the Aqua Spirit, go into 101 and try to absorb the Thanatos. Obviously, he chains to be unaffected, and then Dragoons activate. I add a Deep Sea Diva. And Oscar goes, is that it? Oh man, I thought you had a Megalo or something. And I show him the Megalo in hand. All of a sudden, Oscar goes, what the F is wrong with you? There's literally only one play. I'm like, I don't see it. Like, summon the Megalo, dish the Dragoon and the Spirit, add the Diva. Diva gets the Marksman, get the double attack, and then Marksman goes for Dragoon and then go for game. And Oscar proceeds to summon out his Rescue Rabbit and gets his 2 Heliotrope out, makes a Bahamut, takes my monster, and then attacks for game. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I was just Jaden right there when he lost his ability to see Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's exactly how I felt. I didn't see them as 2 water monsters. I just thought that, man, the only time I ever ditched my cards is if it was a Mermail card, like a Gund or an Atlantean. The Aqua Spirit did not click in my head, so yeah, that was my biggest brain fart. I deserve to lose. And I remember somewhere in the crowd someone saying, you don't deserve to play Mermail. I guess it's kind of similar to giving like a kid Teledad back in the 2008 Teledad days. The real Azathoth. So this was like round 4 at locals. I was playing a really chill and funny guy. We'll call him TK. He was playing Azathoth Turbo versus me playing the Danger Thunder. Okay, so I took game 1 from him by winning the die roll, just a full wombo combo, Battery Man, Solar, plus the White Dragon. So he's taking a more serious attitude towards game 2, with a determined to win, try hard face and everything. Through the match, he made a couple funny remarks from getting texts from his mom, like, "Good job, son," or "I'm still in the family," or so he told me. He started the round by summoning out Neo Space Connector into an Aqua Dolphin. And look at my hand, I'm like, I play 0 hand trap, no biggie. What's the worst that could happen to my hand? But this also gives him the fact that he's got the no hand trap knowledge. He receives a text. And TK goes, "Oh, don't worry, that's just my mom telling me that I got this." We get a good laugh. I'm like, what, is his mom psychic or something? And he goes ahead and lists off the cards in my hand. So we've got a Thunder Dragon, Snake, another Danger, a White Dragon, a Wyvern Buster, and a Dinosaur Man. Wow, that's actually pretty impressive. I usually struggle after a glance when I look at a hand. Seeing that I have no hand traps, he proceeds to make his play confidently. And since he was playing the Azathoth Turbo with Orcust and Phantom Knight engine, I felt like he knew what he was going to do. TK says, "Oh, this game's in the bag. Mama's gonna be proud. TK's getting dinner tonight." He proceeds to fetch out his Phantom Knight rank up magic launch and set it and planned his whole turn out, sets of dude cards, Time Thief, and everything set for Azathoth. At this point, I get slightly confused. The Dinosaur Man was Pankratops. Draw, standby, main, special summon Pankratops. He proceeds to chain by activating Fogblade, and I'm like, no response. TK's like, "Wait, why didn't you chain the response?" I'm like, "Pankratops tributes for cost. Fogblade won't be attached to my Pankratops when I activate." Wait, hold on! I knew this! I knew it was a Pankratops! Oh my god, I still went into the play! He proceeds to read his Fogblade and he scoops up his cards. TK just says, "Don't tell my mom I did that." As he said that, he got another text from his mom. "Just don't come home." Now, the whole "don't come home" thing was just a coincidence of a different conversation, out of context completely. But this is just one of those moments where you fake it till you make it. I mean, he saw the Pankratops. Maybe he thought that I would believe his other back row to be like a Solemn Strike. That's probably the best credit I can give. I mean, I've lost on worse occasions, like that one time I had Megalo into Water Monster. Okay, we're not gonna go back into that story again. Why Denko is Bae. Back in the Necros format, like the second one, when Jin was banned out and nothing else was really touched, this was round 8 of a 9-round tournament. I was playing Necros and my opponent, who we will now know as Jim, was playing Satellar Knights. Now after losing die roll, I proceed to not really worry as my opponent makes a Satellar Knight play that fueled up his graveyard, and I just do the good old standard Trish push and call it a day. And now in game 2, we both sided in our counters and my opponent explicitly tells me, "Hey, please call each of your phases, as I may have a counter in standby before you go into your main." Last few times my opponent used Denko, and I couldn't chain, and it was too late. I agreed. Sure, I'll declare my phases. Now we begin the round, and he proceeds to just dump and summon and set 4, pass with 1 Satellar Knight on the field. Now clearly anyone with a basic read can tell that there's got to be counter traps and all sorts of problems if I go in blindly. So I proceed to draw my first card. And I say to him, "Draw phase, would you like to Mind Crush Denko?" Jim goes, "No." When waving the card that I drew in his vision, I said, "Standby phase, would you like to Mind Crush Denko?" Jim replies, "No, I know what you're doing. You heard my story and now you're just debating me into discarding a card in my hand." And me, I just reply, "I could be. You won't know unless you activate that Mind Crush right now." Jim is resolved now. "I see through your games. I pass priority." So he was so confident that his alphas and his negators was enough to take me out. So I call main phase. I drop the card that I was waving in my hand onto the table. Normal Denko. Jim's face was priceless. It was one of those faces that you would make when you step in a wet dog turd on a brand new pair of J's. Jim just yells, "Oh my god, are you freaking serious? This always happens to me." Now I proceed to Trish combo him, and he revealed to me that he actually had 2 Mind Crushes set in the back row. I also revealed to him that I had 3 Denko Sekas in my hand, aside from the one that I was holding on the top deck. Now, he wasn't really salty at the end, he just blames Konami for making Necros such a busted archetype during that format. Now, I think he just accepts that he got outplayed by my 500 IQ big brain plays. I mean, seriously, if he actually chose to go ahead and just call Minecraft, I would have been down so many cards, and I would literally not have been able to play any more cards, as I would have 2 cards, and he had the 2 alphas to take me out anyway. Yeah, so that was a big brain fart on his part. He got mind gamed by tired old Tombox, who spent 5 hours driving back and forth. Anyways, that's all I got. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit me over the thumbs up. If you guys got stories to share yourselves about terrible misplays that you've experienced or witnessed your opponent do, leave it down in the comment section below, or leave it in the Discord. I would appreciate reading up your stories as well. I'm always there just lurking for a good story to read. Well, I've got the Bonesy segment coming up next week. I know you guys wanted Bonesy, but not this week. We're just trying to change it up, so, you know, keeping things fresh. And I guess until next time, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job. And you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by